Good evening. Welcome back to Kevin Toll Reads. Today I have the book review of Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince. This book was published in 2005. This is book number 6 in the Harry Potter series. Somewhere in this book, you have the Golden Trio is in year 6 at Hogwarts. Very different start. Summer. Dumbledore comes and picks up Harry at the Dursleys. They start to uncover the Dumbledore education of Harry. He feels he's ready to, kind of learn who he's connected with in terms of Lord Voldemort and aka Tom Riddle, and learn about his past. And so they start kind of scouring through memories together. And so that happens throughout the term, and you get to really see a really cool backstory about Voldemort as is this child with abilities. Dumbledore recruits him to Hogwarts. He's loved and educated and, every way, because he's so good, so talented. And he turns to the dark side, so to speak. And all the while, too, you get to see Snape, who takes over the dark arts teacher, finally, for him. I hate Snape. Just going to say it. You have a new professor, Professor Slughorn. You have the Slug Club. You have this very vain professor that Dumbledore recruits and to take over Snape's job. He actually was the professor for Snape when he was part of Slytherin. And so you have that going on, and you have the whole kind of Harry's this rock star personality because guess what? All the stuff came true that Harry said in terms of Voldemort and Death Eaters and everything else. And so the Ministry is kind of in a PR crunch. They're actually trying to recruit Harry to, do some PR work on their behalf, which Harry, turns his nose up at, which I was glad. You have the new Prime Minister for the Ministry. I know Weasley has got a different job and a raise, and it was good for that family, but the Ministry is really taking a beating. All the while you have, especially at the beginning, you kind of see like Draco has kind of been branded with the Dark Lord, and he evades his mom at one point to try to go and do some things to set up, what he's trying to do with the Dark Lord and what the task he's appointed. His mom's really fearful for his life. She confides in Snape to watch over him and all this jazz because, obviously his dad's in Azkaban. And so it sets up for a really cool book. So I'm going to talk about what I enjoyed. Definitely probably get into some spoilers here. Before I do, I will say that I really enjoyed this book. This book was fantastic. Really, really good. So before you turn off, I wanted you to know that. So let's get into what I like to talk about some of the things that transpire here. If you plan to read this book, now would be the time to turn the video off. If you have read the book or you plan to read the book and you don't care, you want to see what I have to say about the matter, then stick around because here we go. I really enjoyed the Harry Dumbledore thing and getting the backstory, learning about Tom Riddle's past, where Dumbledore feels an emotional connection that he could have done more type thing. He led Tom down a bad path and he should have done this and should have done that, and how he felt the need emotionally to convey this with Harry because of Harry's connection to Voldemort. It was almost kind of Dumbledore's way of absolving himself to Harry, like, hey, I caused this, you're connected to this person, and you're going to have this ultimate conflict, and I kind of own some of this. And so I thought that was really almost a fatherly figure. It really gave me a lot of vibes of Qui-Gon Jinn and Obi-Wan Kenobi and Anakin, like in the first movie, which is not the greatest of movies, but anyways. Then you have Harry and Ginny. Like, what the hell? Like, I didn't see that coming. Like, you had this whole thing at the beginning of the book, and they're talking about, Ginny growing up, and she's playing Quidditch on Gryffindor, and she's good. And at the same time, you have, Ron being the bigger brother, the older brother type thing, razzing her about all the boyfriends and all this. I didn't think it was Harry. So, and then you have this Half-Blood Prince, and Harry, they can be auras or whatever I think it is called. And so he has to get a spell book, and so does Ron. And Harry gets this one that's signed by the Half-Blood Prince, and it has all these annotations and specialized spells and different things. And he starts using them, and then he's really impressing Slughorn. And Hermione's really pissed because she thinks it's cheating and all this jazz. But who's the Half-Blood Prince? And then you find out who it was, and I just wanted to punch the book. Hagrid's back. He's helping. Definitely, there's a lot that happens. He's got an animal that they have to deal with. I think it was the spider. He's got his brother that Dumbledore helped with. I've always got a soft spot for Hagrid. He's a great character. Again, you have the Ministry trying to revamp their PR. I really, I thought it was interesting that they try to do it after the climax of the book, and if you know what I'm talking about. And I really like that Harry was like, hey, I'm Dumbledore all the way. You can stick it and cram it. I thought that was really good. Obviously, throughout the book, Harry's really interested in why Dumbledore's hand. He keeps going off on these excursions that some people know that he's not in the Hogwarts and what's going on. And when he's through working with Dumbledore, Harry uncovers that he's going off these Horcruxes of Voldemort's, and that they have to have these items before they can really kill him, because he's kind of put some of his essence and soul in these items and spread himself over these items and has these placed with different spells and everything, so he can kind of keep himself immortal. And so, that was really interesting. And then you have the climax of the book. I knew someone was going to, I knew two things were going to happen in this book. I knew we were going to set up for the final conflict, which I thought was great. And I think it did a really good job. And I think I knew someone major was probably going to get it, because it just had to happen, just to set up the last book. I just didn't think it was going to be Dumbledore. And so, and then after the fact, Harry, makes the thing, I'm not coming back to school. I got to go after these Horcruxes. That's what Dumbledore wanted. So we have to do. I've accepted the fact that it's going to be me and Voldemort, mano a mano. Ron and Hermione are like, we're riding and dying to the end with you. And he's like, and Harry's like, let's do it. So, and then after the funeral, they're like, Professor McGonagall and the other staff, like, will there be a Hogwarts next year? And so that's so you have these open-ended things. And so before I tell you, talk about, what book 7 has to produce for me, I want to talk about some dislikes and give you my rating first. There's 2 dislikes I have. First one, Snape. Snape's a prick. I don't like him. Period. And secondly, there's no Voldemort in this book. We have the backstory and everything. I wanted the Voldemort there. I wanted him to do something. And so when we had the climax coming and Malfoy doing his little plan, I really wanted Voldemort in there. Harry's the only one that thinks that Malfoy and Snape are bad. And no one really believes them. They kind of believe Malfoy is, especially Ron and Hermione, but the professors and other people he confides in are like, oh, well, Snape's just doing that because he was, and now Dumbledore believes he's completely on our side. And then even after the fact that it all goes down, then people are still questioning, well, maybe Snape's just letting them believe that because he's getting intel from us, for us. And he's playing this triple agent type stuff. So, yeah. But again, back to the dislikes. I don't like Snape, and there's no Voldemort in it. I wanted Voldemort in the story. So, with that being said, it's a 4.9. If there was Voldemort in the story, this is a 5-star book. Period. This is a 5-star book. I get a 4.9 because I needed Voldemort doing something. I needed him in this story. And he wasn't. Anyways, so with that being said, let's talk about what I need in book 7. So, book 7, it's got to deliver on a couple things. I really feel like Rowling is setting me up here as a reader. And I know a lot of you knew this. Please don't spoil this for me. But I feel like when it comes to both Snape and Malfoy that I'm getting set up. I think Rowling's setting me up. Let's start with Snape. I think that this whole thing that he was bad, he now is good, but he's acting like he's still bad because he's really good. Might be the case. I particularly hope there's a couple things. I hope, number one, that he was bad. He acted good, but he really is bad. Or I hope that he was bad, he really is good, but he's acting bad to be good, and something happens and anti-Snape. I think in some way Snape's going to pay a price. Now Rowling might not do him dirty, and he gives him the hero death, and he dies saving Potter, and he loved Potter all along, and he didn't really hate his dad, and blah blah blah. But I don't know. We'll see where Rowling takes this. But I think something has to happen with Snape, in one manner of speaking. If Snape is at the end and everyone's dancing and you won Mario and everyone's there in the castle and Snape's dancing with everyone, with Yoshi and everyone, I'm going to be pissed. Okay? I'm just letting you know that right now. Second, Draco. I think Rowling is setting me up that Draco is going to be turned. And I think Potter is going to turn him. That's my prediction. I could be wrong. I think it could be cool either way. If Draco just gets it, I'm fine with that. If he doesn't, which I think it'd be better for the overall story and arc of it, he gets turned. And if it was Potter that turned him, I think it would be the greatest thing ever. And what would even make it a little bit better if he turned him and he helped Potter kill the Dark Lord. Wouldn't that be something? We'll see. And the third and final thing I need is I need dark Harry Potter in book 7. I want Rainbow. I want Rambo Harry Potter. The stuff of nightmares. I mean, book 6 was dark compared to the first 5, and I liked it. So I want 7 to be darker. That's just me. I don't want rainbows for a slip of the tongue there, but I want Rambo Harry Potter. That's what I want. So I want something to happen with Snape, preferably death. I want Draco to be turned, and I want Rambo Harry Potter. Those are my 3 wishes for book 7. Anyways, Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince, book number 6 in the Harry Potter series. I give this a 4.9, a hair away from a 5-star read. Fantastic book. Just fantastic. Emotionally better than the 5-star, but the 5-star just was a perfect book for me. So, that's my review. I hope it was worth the wait. Again, if you read this book, love this book, I'd love to know your thoughts. Please don't freaking spoil me on 7, because I am going to take a week off. Please don't spoil me on 7, because 7's got to deliver. So, anyways, hope you have a great evening. I am going to be finishing Corey's List, book number 2 in the Corey series tonight. I am about halfway through the Alexandra Link, so book review coming on both those 2 books over the weekend. Hope you're having a great weekend or starting your weekend. Have a good evening. Bye.